Holden getting underneath. Maltz, great catch by Bernhardt. Score! Hello, highlight reel.
Play like a champion today. Notre Dame with its first title in men's lacrosse.
Hey fans, and welcome back. You didn't ask for this, but you're going to get it. Here it is. Season 2 of College Lacrosse Gameday. The whole crew's back. It's a little different than last year. We're separated by hundreds of miles, but that's how long the fields used to be back when they played hundreds of years ago. So that's okay. That's all right. We say hello to Mike, who's in New Jersey. Mike, how are you, bud?
Dan, that was the best intro I've ever heard, and very true too. Very true.
Well, we need to change the song that you just heard to kick the episode off too. We got to update that. Anish Shroff saying Notre Dame first title in men's lacrosse from Notre Dame. We all know what happened last year, so we got to update that. We'll update that, and we're also going to update all of you on our lives.
We do.
We're doing well. Mike, you're in New Jersey now. What are you doing down there?
Yeah, Dan, I'm down in Jersey. I miss you fellas, but I feel like on this video call here, I'm in the room with you guys, which is nice. I'm excited to do this every week, but all has been well. Back in the Dirty Jersey, going to help with the high school lacrosse team here in Roxbury, the hometown team. It's gonna be a good year. I'm excited.
And what are you selling down there? Doing sales, right?
Selling HVAC, Dan, for a mechanical contractor based in Somerset, New Jersey. Unitemp, if anyone's looking for maintenance, preventative maintenance, repairs, you name it, construction controls, reach out. You know who I am.
Unitemp is the free shout. We'll bring it back this side. Brett, how you doing over there?
Good. I'm good. I'm really happy that we only get better in this studio. So thanks to Riverside, we upgraded. Got a subscription going with them, so we can see Mike big and clear in the studio, and hopefully we can just continue to get better. But really, really happy with what we've put together, and I'm excited for the year. I think it's going to be a lot more fun, and yeah, excited to do it with the boys again.
Well said.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Willie.
Cheers.
It's good to be back. Mike, obviously miss him not being in the room, but duty calls, and he went back home to New Jersey. So we've tried everything in our power to replicate having him in this room. Brett's done a good job, invested some money and some time into upgrading our technology and facilities, and I think we're ready to go for year 2 of this. So excited to be back, excited to be with the same group again, and excited for 2025.
Me too.
Cheers.
Couldn't have said it better.
Well said.
Cheers, fellas. And Hayden, I think you're ready to go for a real season. You are now an offensive coordinator at the high school level.
Yeah.
First time in your coaching career.
Yeah. No, it'll be good. All of us here have coached at various levels, some youth, some high school. This year definitely going to be more involved in the high school game, and looking forward to it. Looking forward to really being on a lacrosse field every day, and kind of taking a step and being with a team. That's what makes this game beautiful, being with a team and being on a lacrosse field and having a stick in your hand. It's a good thing. So excited for it. Obviously been watching a lot of film and keeping up with the game and all that. So natural to do a podcast again, right?
Well, you don't have to tell us about your X's and O's, but like Trump during the campaign, he has concepts of a plan. What? Just tell us about your philosophy, at least. I don't need X's and O's. Philosophy.
I think there's a million different ways to play
Shoot
offense.
First, ask questions later.
Yeah. I mean, you can dumb it down that much, or you can sophisticate things. I always, kind of like the pairs offense. It's kind of where I really fell in love with offensive schemes and X's and O's and stuff like that. But yeah, I like the pairs offense. I like some set plays, some redirection and stuff like that. Playing fast and all that. So, I think there's a million ways to to play offense, like I said, and you kind of just got to figure out what works best for everybody and the 6 guys you have on the field. But yeah, we'll see what we got, and we'll go from there.
Excited to see the product.
And could I just say, from being in the youth program from 1 year, from an outsider, what a wonderful program Lincoln Sudbury is. All right, we're all fired up for you, Hayden. It's a sight to behold what they got up there. Fucking lacrosse legends, man. I love it.
Yeah, and that's
big round of applause for LS.
Let's note that that's coming from a Jersey guy too, where there's some good programs down there, and they're not quick to give praise to people from up north. So Mike, appreciate it. We also appreciate your participation and coaching. What'd you coach last year? Eighth grade?
Me and Kyle the Drip Driscoll were 8th grade, and we just missed playoffs, but there are going to be some good kids going to high school this year.
Yep.
I'm sure you already know, Hayden.
Yep.
13, 14, who cares about playoffs? But, well, it's a nice compliment, Mike. Tim Jason, former coach for Lincoln Sudbury, mentor of 3 of us, he sent me a text before the Syracuse game one year saying, this is amazing. You guys get to play a game in the cathedral of a lacrosse. My response is the Cathedral of Lacrosse is in Sudbury, Massachusetts. Just to give you guys all an idea of what this year is going to be like, it's going to be a little bit different. We all have full-time jobs. We're trying to make a living, just like all of you are. And to do every game, every week, quite literally, is challenging, burdensome. So we're going to...
Still can't say impossible.
Yeah, you can't say impossible. You can't.
Because we did that.
Because it was. We proved it was possible.
We did that thing.
My commission checks weren't beautiful. I'll say that. Still aren't, but they're better. And we want to make this more relaxed, kick our feet up a little bit, have a good time with you guys. It's going to be highly interactive. We'll give you a taste of that. But week by week, we're going to figure out what this podcast is and what this show is and who the hell we are. Really look in the mirror every week and say, who are we? How far are we willing to go? And are you willing to come there with us? We're going to talk a little bit about what's happened over the last 7 months. Last episode, we talked about the national championship. Actually, no, it was before the Final Four, right?
Yep. Yeah, we didn't really recap what happened at the end of last year.
No, we didn't.
Notre Dame back-to-back. Obviously, I think a lot of people saw that coming. Their preseason ranked number 1 going into 2025. I don't know if we want to circle back on our predictions for the Final Four last year. Some of us were accurate. Some of us took aggressive takes, and we're rooting for some dark horse teams. But at the end of the day, it was the blue bloods back in the Final Four, and those teams are good again this year. And hopefully, I think we're all rooting for someone to kind of come out of the woodworks and make a statement that's not one of your ACC or Big Ten or Ivy League teams. Really hoping to see a team kind of rise up from the ashes and make a run deep in Met.
What were our predictions? Did anyone have it right in the Final Four?
No, I mean, a lot of us predicted Notre Dame. I think Brett might have predicted Maryland.
Was it this year or last year that I almost had a perfect bracket?
Well, this year is week 0.
I mean, last year.
So no, it wasn't last year.
Maybe it was 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. We all made
But Mike,
on.
I think me and Mike picked them to win. I think the other two. I think you two did something. Denver was Dan's team in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough not to pick them.
They danced, man. They danced.
Sure did.
Yeah, Michael Lampert danced.
He did.
As he does best.
I would say, and I think, I'll get into it at least. I think this is the year that we get somebody who isn't a blue blood into the Final Four. But last year, I think it was just everyone thought Notre Dame was going to win it all. And I think we were just making it fun at the end, saying, I don't know, UVA or fucking Denver or St. Joe's is going to win the national championship. But I do think, at least a reflection on last year, I think a lot of things were taken for granted because of how good Notre Dame was. They went 2-peat. Everyone kind of expected it, and there were a lot of good players that graduated. So I think that the perspective was my biggest takeaway, and enjoying good players while they're still in college. I think that was my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, definitely. And Notre Dame had a unbelievable roster, but so did teams like Duke and Virginia and a lot of these other teams that were really kind of, fifth year heavy with all the COVID transfers and kind of having those last wave of guys with that extra year of eligibility. And I think one of the exciting things about 2025 is how much turnover there truly is, right? You know, going into last year, you kind of knew who the Twarton finalists were going to be, right? You knew Brennan O'Neill was going to be there. You knew Connor Schellenberger was going to be there. You knew Pat Kavanaugh was going to be there. You probably had a good guess that Liam Entenman was going to be there. And now all those guys are gone.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big theme for 2025 is the turnover. With these kind of 4 or 5 year starters and these generational talents, a lot of those teams, you know, looking at the top teams like Notre Dame and Duke and Maryland and Virginia, they lose a lot of those guys who have been starting for them for the last 4 years. So I agree with you, Mike. I think there are going to be a couple teams that kind of surprise us and have some younger guys ready to take that step and really make a deep run and win some meaningful games.
Yeah.
And then Dan, you mentioned the offseason, and I think maybe you were just transitioning into it, but a couple of rule changes as well. Two
Rule changes.
Rule changes for
I don't know anything about this.
Or at least updates for this year. We spoke about it a lot, and I think we asked Mr. Sir Coach Greg Raymond about the video review, right? Because that was just brand new. They added some tweaks to it. I mean, it's more minor. I think you can only review in the last 4 minutes of the game or the half too. Now you can
last
review.
year. Oh, that
year.
was okay. Yep.
Video review. Now you can review anytime, but you can only review. I believe it's if a shot hits a goalpost and there's a reset, or head and neck area contact. They're bringing that bullshit to lacrosse. So, you're gonna. Yeah, I know. I hate it. So that and probably like something like if there's a fight or something, they can have video review. Those are the big three. And then also the face-off, which I like this rule. Now there's no penalty for getting a infraction on the face-off. If you go early or whatever, you miss the next face-off, which is interesting. There's no 30-second penalty anymore for doing like 3 infractions in a row or whatever on a face-off. There's no penalty, but if you jump early or have an infraction, then you don't do the next face-off. Your backup has to do it.
Yep. Yeah, which is a pretty meaningful rule because
get up and walk.
It's PLL. It's PLL style, no? I think that's the rule in the PLL.
It could be.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty meaningful because now you got to have depth at the face-off. Like there was a lot of teams last year. Like I think of Denver and Alex Stathakis. He took like 95%, probably more than 95% of the face-offs for Denver last year, right? And infractions didn't necessarily hurt him. But now, if you don't have a second guy who's, you know, just as good as the first guy, it can really hurt you, especially if he's jumping. And you don't get that advantage, right? Like in years past, you've had 2 times to jump it and really time up the whistle. Now you don't have that, right? That could be a possession the other way if you don't have that depth.
Think about the biggest moments in college lacrosse when you need your guy, your face-off guy, to win a face-off. Imagine he's not on there.
Yeah.
Imagine I'm thinking Maryland UVA national championship where Maryland wins the face-off, goes down out the front, doesn't score the goal, but imagine he couldn't take that face-off because he had a violation the last face-off.
Yeah, it's not happening.
That's kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a position too where it's going to be tough for teams that aren't ACC schools to compete at that spot if they don't have their number one guy going. But like you said, it just creates the argument for more depth, which is going to be difficult if the NCAA continues to trend in this kind of roster limit thing. We talked about it a little bit in our dry run that we're not going to put out to the public, but for many reasons. But the roster limits, what's happening, I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to it, but with NIL and a whole storm of things, there's the potential that next year and in years following, there's going to be some type of limit on NCAA rosters. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could speak with more credibility to this.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know all the details about it. To my knowledge, I think next year for the 2026 season, D1 teams have to limit their roster at 45, I believe is the number. It could be lower than that. It could be 41. I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
But that is going to have pretty big impacts on recruiting, and really like these rosters and how these programs are built. We talked a lot about it last year. Some of these teams in D1 have 70 or 80 kids, and they don't all dress on game day. But when you have that many kids, you can really recruit, kind of whoever you want, right? Not to say that, these kids shouldn't be going to these schools, but there are cases where teams will bring in a recruiting class of 15 to 20 kids and hope 3 of them pan out, right? Now you got to be a lot more dialed on your recruiting. You really got to know the kid before he gets to school and have a really good idea of who he is and who he's going to be in 3 or 4 years, because you can't just, roll the dice on people anymore. So I think that's going to be a big change.
So if you let me just cover this quick. It says 25-26 academic year, not only lacrosse, but it says that they're increasing scholarships from 12.6 to 48.
For lacrosse, yep.
And new max roster is 48.
48.
So every one of those players get a
So
scholarship.
you're telling me UVA or Duke can give 48 full scholarships for their entire roster?
That's correct.
I don't know if they are going to.
They
might.
can.
I'm not saying they're going to.
They
but they have theoretically they have the ability. That's crazy.
They could. But the roster limit's the bigger story, I think. I think the money matters, but I don't know. That's not a lot of people. It's plenty for a lacrosse team. It's plenty. But it forces these coaches to place their bets, and you can't just recruit whoever the hell you want. You got to be smart about it. It also opens up the transfer portal thing, which this is the end of the COVID extra year, everyone having that extra year. That's over. It's done. But the transfers are not going to stop. And there are some transfers to talk about, I think. And then I think we should talk about our preseason Omaha Steaks Nailguns of the year. And then I think we should get into the slate and talk a little bit about betting. And I have some insight from Tommy Locks. But starting with transfers, do we want to listen to Crease Dive Kev? Start it off. We'll review our notes as we listen to Crease Dive Kev. Some excellent insight from Crease Dive Kev. And this is just a taste of some of the interactions going to be happening this year. Crease Dive Kev, take it away.
It's Game Day Season 2. Crease Dive Kev here with 5 impact transfers to look out for in this upcoming season. I'm not wasting any time. I'm diving right into it. First name on the list, Johnny Hackett. He's heading to Virginia from Bryant. I watched him drop a hat trick on Harvard last year. That means he can shit on the big dogs and he can shit on the nerds. He's ready to play ACC ball. And I know Lars Tiffany's standing there with a big old smile on his face, holding that traditional stick saying, damn, I just got the best free agent in college lacrosse. Because with that firepower that UVA already has on offense and this guy's quick east-west speed, I think he's going to be the party starter, drawing a shorty, dishing it off to the other weapons that the Cavaliers have. After that, I got goalie Mike John Fricaro. He's headed to UNC from Princeton. He's 2-time All-Ivy second team behind Emmett Carroll. That means he'd be the number 1 goalie in any other conference in D1. He's 65% in his last 5 games, meaning he's got that clutch factor in April and May lacrosse. He also can get the party going on the full field clear with his legs because he had a Geno against Penn. After that, I got Michael Grace. He's going from Ontario Tech to Cuse. 33 career points, D-Man of the Year D3, 2-time Natty champs, teaming up with Riley Figueres and Billy Dwan. This is a Cuse team without a goalie returning. They're graduating Will Mark, so they're going to have a young guy encaged. This is a great unit to have in front of a young goaltender, and I think they're going to help him build on his confidence, whoever that may be. After that, I got Jack Amone, little sleeper cell transfer, staying in conference, going from Rutgers to Penn State. This guy dropped 50 Genos over his career. 3-time academic all-conference. Guy's a fucking brain. I get to shoot with him. He's from my town. He's a righty. He's a lefty. He's a grinder. He's diving for possessions. He's getting those ground balls, and he's going to be a menace on the clear as well. He's a two-way guy. After that, I got Jack Dowd from Salisbury University, headed towards Maryland, staying in state. He's a 3-time All-American. He's midfielder of the year. He's a national champion. He has 261 career points. Mind you, that's D3 against plumbers and electricians. But he's 6'3", 240. This guy's a bad weekend away from being Josh Allen on the field. He's got size. He's got a winning mentality. And he's going to be a key addition for the Terps this year. Fellas, those are 5 names to look out for in the transfer portal. And take it away.
If you can give us that passion, that intensity, that energy, there's a slot for you on this show any week. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what the topic is. If you can bring that, you're on. And we're going to open it up this year every single week for that type of what's that?
Dive, score.
Dive, score.
What a legend.
He
Yeah,
is.
that was pretty good.
Crease Dive Kev is a legend.
You scored.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
Well,
that was fantastic. I would like to talk about some of the transfers he said. Johnny Hackett was his first one. Bryant kid going to Virginia. I think he's going to be a stud. If you got to watch him last year, you know how quick and shifty and versatile he is, and I think he's going to be a real initiator for Virginia this year. I think personally, Maryland probably won the transfer portal. Kevin talked about Jack Dowd, the Salisbury mid. He's 6'4", big downhill dodger. But they also got a handful of other guys that are really going to help them. They got Matthew Keegan from Binghamton, who was a really savvy attackman for Binghamton last year. Expect him to get some time. Noah Armitage, a Canadian from Stony Brook, another attackman. Those two could be on the field a good amount. They also got Zach Gorno, a D midi from Bowdoin, who, we know him and he is an absolute beast.
He's an engine.
He's
an engine. Like one of the hardest working, lacrosse players I've ever seen, and he's in unbelievable shape. But I'm pretty confident he's going to fit in real well at Maryland. But yeah, I mean, we can go around the room and see who we think is going to be the most impactful transfer. But I think one guy does something for you. But when you get 3 or 4 guys who have 70 career games under their belt, each one of them, right? That's a lot of experience you're putting on the field, and for Maryland, that's going to be huge for them. Virginia is going to benefit a lot from their transfer portal, acquisitions, and I think UNC will too with Mike Gianfrancaro. He is an absolute beast. He's kind of a leader and a centerpiece that UNC needs this year.
It's funny that those Ivy League schools, I feel like they have a pipeline a little bit to some of these ACC schools.
Sure do.
Oh yeah.
Conor McCarthy.
Yeah.
They can't fifth year at Ivy League schools.
Where else do Princeton?
Right, but
kids
it's
go?
just like why? How could you have that? I don't know. It's just weird, You're competing against them, and you have a relationship just feeding them these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think there's money involved?
I mean, I think they have a good academic track
the
record.
NIL,
There's no
Sours.
We can turn this into Alex Jones real quick. We can talk conspiracies all day long.
I mean, dude, they're just really good players, and they want to use their fifth year, and they're going to play for a team that could compete for a championship. They can't go back to an Ivy League school, so I mean, it also makes sense. But
I mean, looking at some of these names, I'll let you go here, Mike. But like, there's so many transfers where I'm like, why is he doing that? And I'm sure they have their reasons, and like, I don't know, going from schools like Virginia to Notre Dame or Duke to, not the Ivy League. Okay, I finished. I need to go do grad school somewhere. Like,
I want to go back.
I mean, honestly, Dan, I think it's a pretty simple answer. I think you go get a free MBA at a great institution, and you have a chance to win a national championship. Right? That's a pretty good deal.
But like Eric Mulliver, not picking on him, but like, couldn't he have gotten his MBA at Maryland?
Sure, he could have. I mean, that's a different situation where you have an opportunity.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of examples of that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you just get sick and tired of the place, and maybe you think you're going to be valued elsewhere.
Is there NIL? You think they're getting paid to do this?
I don't think they're paying anything to do it.
there can be. I know Cuse is paying some pretty big bucks to get some grads to go there, so it's out there.
I want the rumors.
I don't know the money, but I do know at least the recent grads. Like, I believe the Princeton grads who just went there got a decent amount of money to go play lacrosse at Syracuse, which is a pretty easy sell,
Right.
And the one thing, Dan, too, is I don't understand the in-conference transferring. Crease Dive Kev mentioned Jack Amon from Rutgers, who had a great career, and he's going in conference in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
which, like you said, people have their reasons, and I have no idea, what transpired or what he's getting offered to go there. But I don't know. I feel like transferring in conference is a little. That's the NIL monster that I guess we're dealing with nowadays.
Yeah. that I can't, that a lot of us can't compare to. I'm not in the room. I'm not having those conversations.
I would just like to say, Crease Dive Kev, the one that I did have on my list before he mentioned any names was Johnny Hackett. And I think it's a shame that you don't get to see players like that. Now we will on like every weekend, you know, on those bigger games, ACC, Big Ten, Ivy.
Yep.
Because when I did watch him play live, I thought immediately that kid's an absolute stud. So he'll be a good player for UVA.
Yeah, another one he mentioned was Michael Grace from RIT. Played against him a couple times. He is an absolute dog. He played for Team Canada. He's gonna be a day one guy at Syracuse. He is that good. Couple others we can touch on that are big transfers.
Yeah.
Matt Pilato from Union going to Rutgers, face-off man. Rutgers
Union
also
guy.
Also got Ethan Barnard, a face-off man from Bowdoin. So they brought in 2 D3 face-off guys. Those guys are both studs, both D3 face-off men of the year at different times. That's going to be a good get for Rutgers. Another one is Pace Billings at Michigan. He came from Princeton, D-Midi, stud, right? He's going to be real good for Michigan. And last one is Judge Murphy, attackman from St. Lawrence, going to Denver. I don't know if he's going to start at attack or come out of the box, but he is a stud. Played with him this summer. He is unbelievably impressive. Brett knows him well, played with him. I was very impressed with his game this summer. I think he's going to be a great fit for that Denver offense.
Friend of the program.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Judge. I was just out in Denver, actually, and I was trying to go see him, but he said it's just been a great experience there, and I can only imagine going to Peter Barton every day after being in Canton. But yeah, excited to see what he does, and to connect with him. Maybe we'll have him on the show and have him back in. So,
last one, Zach Davis, midi from Union, going to UVM. I think he's going to be a stud up there. And UVM is an exciting team this year in the American East. I think they have a good chance at winning that conference.
Union producing some talent, huh? Wow.
I got to say one more. Dan Donahue at Providence, goalie, could be the day one starter at Providence. Providence is a Big East contender this year. You know, obviously a difficult conference, but they're a team that could make some moves. Bobby Benson in his third year, I think. Right, they're a team that's going to be exciting this year.
1 goal away from beating Georgetown in the Big East semifinal.
Yep.
That was a CBS Sports Network. That was a memory for me. Coaching-wise, a few big coaching changes, some more notable than others. I say coaching changes over the last 7 months. What comes to mind? Spit it out.
Torpy to Brown, Crawley to High Point.
High Point.
That's a big one.
Yeah, High Point.
Yeah, I think Torpy going to Brown is interesting because I think he had a job for life at High Point. He made High Point into a really good team, a top 20 team that competed and was a threat in May and sent a lot of guys to the pros, really good developer of players. So interesting to see him go to Brown, a school that's notoriously difficult to win at, right? You're in the Ivy, stacked conference. At Brown, you're not necessarily competing with Harvard and Princeton and Yale for recruits. So you gotta find a niche and really get some guys there. And, based off their latest recruits, he's doing a great job. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Guys, I heard a rumor there, by the way. I don't know if we spoke about this, but I heard that Torpy to Brown, I heard the culture at Brown prior to Torpy arriving there was lackadaisical, to say the least. Let's just say the boys partied a lot and showed up to game day and played.
We remembered what happened last year, right? They had a bunch of seniors get suspended.
This is what I heard from sources inside of the building.
Yep. I was gonna say. Checks out.
So I heard when Torpy got there, shit changed real fast, and they were like, "What the fuck is this guy? Who does he think he is? We're gonna run."
How dare this guy trying to will lacrosse games?
What, we can't drink 6 days a week? What are we talking about? What is this, prison?
Hey, maybe that's why nobody wants to go there. I'm going to Princeton.
I did hear that, but that also could be, Brown has always had talent. They have a history of, they've made it pretty far in the tournament. Have they won it? No? Okay, well, they've made it far. They have a history of, they can do it. They're in a really good conference. great school. Who knows what Brown can be? And then High Point. I mean, Crawley seems like a great coach, and High Point's also another school that is in a good conference. That place looks like a private resort for some reason. That campus. So I think he'll do pretty well there too.
Yeah, I agree.
Any like other coaching change? Who was the coach at Brown? Mike Daly, right?
Mike Daly, and he is no longer a head coach.
Nope, he's at Maryland in a role titled the director of player development. I think.
The fuck does that mean?
Wait, what?
What does it mean?
You just talk about how your
What is
players are
he-
shitheads?
What is he getting paid?
He is the director or overseer of players developing. Dan,
I mean, in my
How do you
opinion,
not get
for Maryland, that is an unbelievable hire, right? He is a touted head coach who has succeeded at Tufts. Really, he succeeded at Brown on the lacrosse field, right? They weren't, nationally ranked, but being a 500 coach in the Ivy League is a pretty good accomplishment. But for Maryland, that is a huge get. He's going to be great for a lot of those young guys, some of those transfers, having them buy into the program. And I do think this is a 1 to 2 year max stop for him before he gets another chair at another Division I school.
yeah, Hayden sounds great and all. What does he do?
I don't know.
He's not the offensive coordinator.
He's
Not
not
the
the
defense-
offensive coordinator.
So not the defensive coordinator. He's not the head coach.
He's not the strength coach.
No, he's not the trainer. He doesn't tape ankles.
He doesn't.
I mean, that's
Does he
what's-
fill the
what do you
ice
mean?
up?
What do you mean? He's on the sideline. He's a very, very good coach. You think he's just standing there and watching?
No, I'm sure.
No,
he's
I'm honestly genuinely curious, like how he fits into the coaching umbrella at Maryland. Like I'm genuinely curious.
I want to know, Mike. Imagine Hobart bringing in Mike Daly as their fourth coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to picture. What he does.
It just blows my
Your
mind.
defensive
They
coach
go from
takes the defense.
This is the second year of having a fourth paid coach in men's Division I lacrosse coaching staffs, maybe women's too. I don't know, but I know that for a fact for men's, it's the second year you can have 4 paid coaches. And now Maryland has, I don't know who their coordinators are, but I guarantee they're going to get head coaching offers in the next 10 years.
Sure.
They have John Tillman, who is on the Mount Rushmore, and then they have Mike Daly, who's on the Division III Mount Rushmore. And it's just, I don't know.
They have Jesse Bernhardt.
It's overpowered. How are they getting all these players in the transfer portal, and then they're taking coaches to be their fourth coach?
I mean, yeah. Let's not forget the fact that Maryland's a Big Ten school with a lot of money who cares a lot about lacrosse, right?
Yeah.
Just because there's a certain budget to have these coaches here doesn't mean that they can't, offer a whole lot more to get a guy like Mike Daly there and be the fourth.
It's not an absorbent amount. It says between 50 and 90,000. I think the last guy they had made 86, so he might be making more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, he's at Maryland. He's getting, he's part of a team that could win a national championship, right? It's good for him. It's good for the team.
It'll work.
I don't know why Maryland wouldn't do that and wouldn't take him up on that offer if he's willing to be there.
It's gonna benefit Maryland.
Yeah,
we're just curious how
how is
how
this
he
happening?
fits.
Yeah.
What does he do? Like, it's a lot to think about, but we can move on from it.
I'm sure there's other names of people in that position at other schools, and we're not smart enough to know what's happening.
Real quick, 2 new programs this year that we get to watch.
Yep.
Iona and Mercyhurst. So keep an eye out. Mercyhurst has a history of doing pretty well. They were in the national championship 2 years ago, and they were runner-up, lost.
Yep, D2.
Iona
He's got some good notes here.
was club last year.
Okay.
So that's going to be very interesting.
Where are
to see
they?
how they do.
Where's Iona?
New York.
I think in New York.
I think it's right outside of New York City.
They're in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, MAC.
Yep. They did, yeah, Mike, it is interesting that they were a club team that kind of got reinstated as a Division I team. You don't see that very often. They did get a pretty good coach. Who was it? Chad Sermon. He was formerly the Mercer head coach. I think he was like associate head coach or interim head coach, but he was at Mercer for 7 years, who, was a respectable program for a couple years. So he has experience, right? And I think Iona's a pretty intriguing school. They have a Division I basketball team.
Good basketball.
How do you know that, Hayden?
I mean, it's Iona. Everybody knows that.
And I
You
think
lacrosse Asperger's.
and from my interest standpoint, 2 new venues in lacrosse. Maybe a couple years down the line, we got a conference championship there. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they're ranked.
Yeah.
But both around 2,300, 2,400 capacity for people to go there. Beautiful venues, guys. Look up pictures. They could be good spots. Yeah, I'm always excited for new venues to watch lacrosse.
Yeah,
that's all I care about.
Mike, and then
So,
did
that's
we
a shout out right there.
Did we lose any teams in D1? Lindenwood's done this year, right?
Lindenwood cut lacrosse.
Yep. Did
Most of their
anybody
sports.
else?
In D1?
Yeah.
I think it was just Lindenwood.
Okay.
Yeah,
D3, Cabrini.
Cabrini. That's a big one.
Yeah.
They won a national championship. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
recently.
pretty massive.
How does that? Yeah, I don't know how the financials of all that work, but like, how do you win a national championship and then someone in a boardroom says we need to get rid of this team?
Well, it was a whole school.
It was
wasn't
a
just
whole
one.
school.
You're right. You're right.
The
You're right.
school got bought by Villanova.
They have bigger problems than what's on the lacrosse
Yeah.
field.
Wow.
Totally.
And remember, we talked about how expensive it is to at least start a men's lacrosse program. So
Yes,
I mean, if
told.
their school was going under, I'm sure paying for lacrosse and other sports was not the right move.
Right. All right, moving on. Let's talk about nail guns. And let's talk about our sponsorships a little bit here. So we go back and forth on who we bestow the honor of sponsoring our beautiful show. And we talk about liquor companies. We talk about steak companies like butcher companies.
Beef distributors.
And that's about it. That's about the end of the line.
Yeah, the ones of recent.
So we're gonna let them fight it out
We are.
because we know our value. Who
Cage
wants it?
match.
Yeah. Who wants it?
Put them in the octagon.
Who wants to be in a bottle right here, right in front of the camera? And by the way, we're on camera. I know you guys are listening, but we got a 4K camera out. We could see Mike through his beautiful 4K camera. So stay tuned because maybe at one point this year you're going to see our faces.
Our mugs.
And hopefully some sponsorships. We're working on it.
Yeah.
We'll keep you guys updated, but some exciting stuff, I think, coming down the pipe. So
And right now we stay loyal to Omaha Steaks. So we're going to
Always.
give you our Omaha Steaks.
Who has done nothing for us? A year and a half. Then.
yeah,
They've done everything for us.
Right.
Speak
Right.
for yourself. They have been.
they've done too much.
I still have dreams about that bacon wrapped filet. Oh,
That you bought.
I was gifted because it's a perfect gift, and it came
It's
in a
salivating.
nice-
I always remember Mike's story when he got attacked in his living room
Yeah,
and he
I
stuck a
thank
nice
that
prime
company
rib out.
every day.
It saved your life.
as you should.
It literally saved my life.
And I think they're a perfect sponsor for our preseason nail guns of the year. Now, this is important. When you hear nail gun, what words come to mind?
Powerful.
Tough.
Gritty,
Disciplined.
Rust.
That's a good one. Rust.
load,
Brave.
Eardrums.
Blood.
Trustworthy.
bulk,
Fire.
Fire.
I think of these guys. I think of these guys we got on this short list right here of our preseason nail guns of the year. Now, this was tough. This was hard. You know, a nail gun's not an MVP. He's not scoring all the goals. He's doing the dirty work that people don't want to do. And there's water guns, there's staplers. You know, you staple some shit together. You know, you can just rip that apart. You know, a 9-year-old can rip that apart. Water guns. You know, that's a birthday party. That's a birthday party thing. A nail
for
gun.
children.
A nail gun fucking puts a nail in something and it fucking stays there for 30 years. And it does shit. And it keeps it there. And these nail guns are keeping their programs on top and keeping themselves in shape for their teammates and those they love. Mike,
Jesus.
why don't you start with your preseason
Oh.
Omaha Steaks 2025 nail gun of the year?
I'll start us off, and I think that this nail gun here could easily be consensus for all four of us, especially me and Dan Ryan here, who are defensive-minded individuals.
I mean, we're fighting over this nominee, but
Literally fighting over this. Brendan Lavelle. All right. I think this guy's going to win the Schmeiser this year, which is the defensive MVP for people who don't know that.
he's a Schmeiser guy for sure.
He is the Schmeiser. He Schmeizes people. This guy, if you watched him last year, is an absolute matchup nightmare. He not only can completely shut out an offensive player, he also makes it very painful, and it's very obvious when you watch. I would say, as far as growing up, my favorite defender was Matt Landis, who was a 2-time Schmeiser winner in a row, which has only happened like 3 times or 4 times, I think. I haven't had I'd say an iconic defenseman who I am a true fan of. Maybe that was because I was playing for a little bit, but being on the outside looking in, Brendan Lavelle is definitely my favorite defenseman in college lacrosse right now. And in all people who watch games, I know it's fun to watch the offense, watch the ball move around, and watch somebody snipe top titty. Everyone loves that, but watch this guy cover the ball. Watch him in the Ivy League cover CJ Kirst. Watch him cover other top matchups out of conference. It's a sight to see, man. This guy's a nail gun. He's going to have a hell of a year if he stays healthy. That's all I got.
Hey, you want to give your nail gun?
Sure, Mike. I like that pick. Brendan Lavelle is a beast. I actually have another defensive player, and that my nail gun, my Omaha Steaks 2025 nail gun of the year is Ben Wayer. Preseason nail gun of the year is Ben Wayer, LSM for Virginia. We watched Ben Wayer play last year. He was on the field. He, had a ton of ground balls. You can't miss him on the field. He's 6'4", close to 230. He's an absolute unit, prototypical UVA defenseman. What I think most people don't know is that before the season last year, he was going through some hard times, struggling with sobriety and all that. There's a great article on USA Lax Mag you should all read. And he took a year off and went into the mountains in Utah and lived a very nomadic lifestyle. It was a retreat of some sort to find sobriety. And he came back last year, was an absolute beast on the field. And now he's back again this year. And from what I've heard in the preseason, from listening to Lars, talking some podcasts and some articles that came out, he is a changed man. He's a changed teammate. He's a changed player. There's a great quote in this article that Lars said. He said, "There was a photo of him, Ben Wayer, up in the mountains in Georgia with a full beard, splitting firewood with a Bowie knife, living with a group of people, cooking their own food and living in tents. I was like, wow, Ben Wayer, he's a mountain man now, and he's playing like it." Ben Wayer, nail gun of the year. Watch out for him. Wow. Mike, I think he is a candidate for the Schmeiser. Brendan Lavelle's a beast. Ben Wayer is a changed man. He's a mountain man.
We'll keep this quick because we want to make this podcast quick. That was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
I wish I could read stories like that for a living. My preseason nail gun of the year is Will Coletti. He's the faceoff guy at Army. He had 117 ground balls last year. Jesus. I want you to go outside and pick up 117 ground balls. You will be sore as shit by the end of that. Just put the ball down, pick it up 117 times.
The right way.
Yeah, the right way. Tuck your butt in.
Fucking wheelchair.
Knuckles. Drag the knuckles.
Drag your knuckles. Your knuckles. I should see bone on your knuckles by the end of that. Because Will Coletti.
Ligaments.
He doesn't have skin on his knuckles. Because he gets both knuckles down. He's a gorilla on the field. And he is my 2025 Omaha Steaks preseason nail gun of the year. Brett, do you have a short list for nail gun of the year?
Me and Hayden spoke briefly about this guy, Jason Alexander. Queens University. He is the only college lacrosse player who's ever competed in NASCAR and played lacrosse at the same time. Quite the gentleman. He's also ROTC. I don't know what he's going to deliver on the field this year, but off the field, he's a speed demon. He's like Ricky Bobby, shake and bake. Shake and bake, baby. That's my guy.
There's also a note in there that he's 6'5", so he's like not a prototypical NASCAR driver.
Yeah,
he can barely fit in the cars.
Maybe that's why he's not racing, because he needs a bigger engine to get him going.
That guy drowns himself in Yingling at the local bar. That's for damn sure.
Sure
What a
does.
beast.
Specifically Yingling.
Or Bush Light.
Whatever's on his car, whatever he's got sponsored.
Exactly.
What a beautiful story.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, let's talk about the games a little bit. I want to start the games by betting because this is the first time like all the lines are out. It's Tuesday right now. All the lines are out. Some preseason lines are out for national championship wins, conference winners, and the games this week. And to kick this off, we'll let you guys review these as we hop into this segment. I have a lock from none other than Tommy Locks. If you're a religious listener, you remember last year he gave us 3 picks. I forget how that went. I don't think it went great.
Not hot.
But he's still like I will go to him before anyone else for locks, and I love this one. I love this one. This is his week 0 feed the family pick. Real listeners know we don't give you locks. We don't give you bets. We help you feed your family because sometimes the bills don't come in as fast as you might like. Sometimes you don't close deals. You don't get them to sign in the dotted line, and expenses build up. And next thing you know, your wife crashes your car, and she hasn't had auto insurance for the last 3 years, and your bank account's empty. So you need something to feed the family, and we're going to help you do that. Week 0 pick of the week from Tommy Locks, Jacksonville +8. And I love this pick. And so does he. 91% of the bets are placed on Syracuse. This is from Tommy himself. Jacksonville comes into the season as a defensive-minded team with a great goalie. John Galloway enters his 9th year as the head coach and gets to live and practice in the beautiful land of Florida. Syracuse, as usual, is hyped up to be the best team, blah, 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 blah. I will say they have a great team and great players, but I think they start slow. And let's not forget, John Galloway went to Syracuse, was a legend there. Jacksonville is not losing to this team by more than 8 points. Let's ride with Vegas, thinking 17-11 final score. Don't be a BITCH. That's from Tommy Locks, his lock of the week. I like it. The John Galloway thing, that was the turning point for me. Like,
He's off to a great start.
Yeah,
I like it.
+8, so they just got to lose by less than 8 goals.
Yeah.
Very doable opening weekend. I think everyone has to remember that this is everyone's first week playing another opponent.
Right.
No matter how good you look on paper, it's your first week playing somebody else in another jersey, and that always plays a factor in spreads. I love it.
Yeah. What do you guys like this week? Let's start with, have you guys looked at any of the futures for conference winners or national championship?
Dan, I got you. I got a good future.
Or do you want me to kind of go through a couple of them first and then let you go?
Go ahead.
Notre Dame's a favorite, +350. Then we got Syracuse at +500. Maryland and Duke are both plus 1,000. So is Cornell and Virginia and Princeton. Then you got Hopkins at +1,200, and then Yale, Penn State, Georgetown, Denver. The list goes on. But big here, Notre Dame's your favorite, Syracuse your second favorite, Maryland, Duke, Cornell, Virginia, all tied for third. Mike, I'll let you spin.
Hayden, we mentioned it very briefly earlier. This is the year where a blue blood does not win the national championship. Everybody's putting their money on Notre Dame to three-peat. The Lions say it. What'd you say, Dan? They're +125 or whatever.
+350, which is really, for a future national championship,
it's low.
Yeah.
I got the Ivy League coming back this year strong. You're going to love this, Hayden. UPenn, +4,000, national champion. I talked about my nail gun. Preseason Nailgun, Omaha Steaks Preseason Nailgun of the year. Brendan Lavelle and this defense are going to take them all the way to the national championship. They return almost all of their top scorers, even though their offense wasn't spectacular last year. I think that they're going to be the team to beat. I think they're going to make it through the Ivy. They're going to make it to the playoff, and they're going to go all the way to the championship. And you're going to get your money's worth at +4,000.
Mike, I love that pick. Let's also not forget that Emmett Carroll is back, their goalie. Preseason first-team All-American.
Hobart transfer. Is it Cam? No. What's his name?
Peterkin.
Who cares?
No.
This is wild.
Okay.
Chris Patterson.
Chris
Attackman.
Patterson.
He was a all-conference player as a rookie attackman at Hobart. Got the #1. He'll be added to the offense.
Yep.
It's gonna be a good team.
Let's got Cam Rubin back. Mike, I actually love that pick. defense wins championships. They probably have the most trustworthy defense going into the season, right? Most experienced, most touted. Good pick. It's also Penn, not UPenn, but we'll work on
My
that.
apologies,
Right?
Mr. Fry. My apologies.
Yep. But good. We'll get that out of the way early. Love that pick. On that note, I'm going to take a similar stance and take a team that's not necessarily a blue blood, and I think one that's been under-respected in the preseason polls, and that's Army. All right? Army last year, if you recall, was number 1 in the country at one point, right? They didn't lose a whole lot. Yes, they lost Knox Dent in net. They lost Reese Burek on attack, but they bring back, potentially 3 first-team All-Americans in Coletti, AJ Pilot on defense, and Evan Plunkett at midi, right? I think they were preseason ranked 12 or 13 in that area. There's not many teams in the top 5 that bring back 3 preseason first-team All-Americans, all right? I think Army is under-respected. I think they knew what kind of killed them last year. They got chewed up by the Patriot League. I think they're on a mission, and I know we say that every year about Army, but I think last year they had all the hype in the world. This year, they're a little under the radar, and I think they're going to be in championship weekend, no question.
The Patriot League is just so tough. I mean, who would have thought, with that much time left in the year, that Army wasn't going to make the tournament?
Yeah.
And they have outside of the Patriot League, they have UMass, not a gimme. Rutgers, not a gimme. Yale, not a gimme. North Carolina, not a gimme. Those are tough games, all out of conference. Then they got to go play in the Patriot League. We all know how difficult that is. It's just such a tough path. You put them in any other conference that's not the Patriot League. If they're in the Big Ten and they have 3 more losses, they're making the tournament last year.
Yeah.
That's aggressive. But I
think my point is, if they make the tournament and they don't kind of fizzle out in Patriot League play and they get to the tournament, they are talented enough to beat anybody. And I like Army against anybody come tournament time.
Both teams have great value. Army's plus 3,500 and Penn is plus 4,000. Surprised neither of you guys said Cornell, to be honest.
I mean, that's a boring pick.
It is.
Their defense is going to fuck them.
That's why I'm not talking about it. It's my pick, but I'm not going to talk about it. Cornell, CJ Kirst, take me higher. Conference winners. There's actually some great value pick in some of the conference winner picks. You could sprinkle on some of these teams. Like Michigan is plus 650 to win the Big Ten. They've won it the last 2 years. 4th favorite team to win it. Not going to spend time here because we want to keep this thing quick. But take a look here before week 0, and these all change. Let's go to the games. Let's go to the actual games. Game lines. So we all know the spread of Jacksonville-Syracuse, which is going to be a great game. The best games of the week outside of this have to be Maryland-Richmond, Georgetown, Loyola. Maryland-Richmond. Maryland's a 5-goal favorite against Richmond. Loyola, Georgetown. Georgetown is a 4.5-goal favorite. What else we got here? Rutgers, Lehigh. Rutgers 1.5-goal favorite. Lehigh just won the Patriot League, and they're underdogs. Interesting. Navy, High Point. That's actually going to be a great game. John Crawley, first game as a Division I head coach. Some other good contests too. Colgate, Penn State. We all remember what happened last year. Yep. Big upset. Hopkins, Denver. That is the primetime event. That's at 2 p.m. Yeah. So the sun will be out, but that's prime time for lacrosse fans. And that was an amazing game last year. It's going to be a great game this year. Hopkins is the 1.5-goal underdog. What do you guys think about this game? Hopkins, Denver. Who walks away with the victory? This one is at Peter Barton in Denver. Start with Hayden.
Yeah, we know what happened last year. Denver won in OT, I believe, on a last-second J.J. Silstrop goal. Interesting game.
Friend of the program.
2 teams that both lost a lot, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Both defenses, remain intact. But, I think of Hopkins and, you lose a guy like Jacob Angelis and a couple other guys. But you need guys to step up if you're Hopkins. You need Russell Melendez to have a bounce back year. Last year he was, underperformed based off his predictions of what he was going to do. You need young guys like Jimmy Ayers to step up, and you need kind of everything to go in your direction for Hopkins. Again, a very talented team. But I think they lost a lot, and they're going to have to figure out the roles a little bit. Similar to Denver on the offensive side of the ball, they lost Silstrop, they lost Lampert, two guys who had the ball in their sticks a lot, and they're going to have to rely on some younger guys. Cody Milosky is a young attackman for Denver who I think is going to be the real deal. He could be one of the most, underappreciated players going into this year. He did a lot of good things last year. So it's going to be interesting. It's kind of like a dawning of a new age for both these teams. But I think I like Denver. I love Matt Brown. I like Denver at home.
At home. Mike?
Yeah. Did you guys see, this is at Denver. Did you guys see where this is being streamed?
I have a guess.
Exactly where you fucking expect. Where you got to pay $10 for a month. It's literally called Midco Sports Plus, brand new. Never, I didn't see it. That's not even Denver's. Yep, not even Denver's. They're whatever. So I'm probably not going to watch the game, to be honest with you. But,
we're not going to watch it. We're not going to watch
probably
it.
Not going to watch it, but
it's like a nightmare. Just keeps getting worse every year.
Maybe we all chip in fucking $3. I don't know. It is a nightmare, Brett. But
I don't know. Let me. I'll ask Judge. Maybe he can hook us up.
You guys
We'll
offer floating licenses?
How many real users? What if I watch one game? Do I qualify?
I'll go quick on this. Hayden, I'm with you. I love Denver plus 1.5. I even, if you're feeling a little bit more confident, I'd take Denver money line in this game. I think they won an OT last year. Now Hopkins is flying out to Denver to play them. Both lost a lot, but I think Denver's going to be tough to beat at home. So I would take Denver.
Don't bet the spread. Somebody's got to win. Take the money line. That's my advice.
There we go.
Do you guys have any other passionate thoughts about any of these other games?
I am very excited for the Maryland-Richmond game. I think Maryland's another team, had a ton of turnover. I think they're a team that's going to be, just a new identity this year.
Yep.
And, you can't bet against Maryland. Every year you think they're down, right? They just reload and they make it as far as they can go. And, last year was a perfect example, right? They borderline shouldn't even have been in the tournament, lost a couple bad games. They make it to the national championship.
Beat Duke.
Run into a buzzsaw in Notre Dame, but they're a team you just can't bet against, and I'm excited to see all of their transfer portal players, kind of be on the field altogether, along with all their, returners who have a lot of meaningful minutes there.
Just a privilege to watch them move the ball. No one holds it. They move it so fast. Must be inspirational as an offensive coordinator.
Yep, it's a beautiful sight. They do zip the ball around.
And Richmond,
take notes, kid.
Richmond's a 5-goal underdog for that game. So, are there any? Are you guys feeding the family any other way besides the Jacksonville?
Love Georgetown -4. I think Loyola's down this year. I think Georgetown's up. I don't even think that game is going to be close. It's the first week. Again, anything could happen. It's the first time playing somebody else in another different colored jersey, but that was one of my locks for the week. Was Georgetown -4.
Yeah,
unless that's spread change.
I'm looking on Dan's screen here to see if
Ohio State, Utah. Ohio State's 3.5-goal favorite against Utah.
That's a good game.
It is.
Yeah, Utah with Ryan Stiles.
I'm not going to watch it, but it's a good game.
I think that's a tough spread because I think Ohio State's better this year. Utah's won the ASUN 2 years in a row. They've been building something good over there. They bring back a lot of good guys too, but I think Ohio State brings back a lot. So that 3 line is tough, but that's going to be a good game. And I think it's at one of the best lacrosse venues in the country. I think you'd have to say at Ohio State. That's a good looking venue over there, but
it's a top tier facility.
Good matchup as well. If you are watching that game, Utah's Ryan Steins at attack against Ohio State's Bobby Van Buren. Ryan Steins had a hat trick last year. Great attackman. He was a big factor in them winning that conference championship in the ASUN, and Bobby Van Buren's been playing some really good ball. So that'll be a fun matchup to watch if you're tuning in.
Yep. One game I saw in there was Lehigh Rutgers. Rutgers is a 1.5-goal favorite. I love Rutgers money line in that game. I mentioned it previously.
Really?
Matt Pilato at the Faceoff X, right? D3 transfer from Union. I'm telling you, I think he's going to go 90% at the X. We'll come back next week and I'll see if that's accurate, but I watch him play. right? You'll understand. I think he's going to be huge for Rutgers. Give them the ball back. He's a real deal.
He's a former Garnet Charger.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know the line of that game? Being New Jersey, and I can't see the line for Rutgers.
Yes, and tell me, I think we're missing some Massachusetts lines, specifically Merrimack Bucknell. Rutgers 1.5 goal favorites in that game.
All right, stat here. I like Lehigh against the spread. They've played 4 times, and 3 of the 4 times the game's been within 3 goals.
See you next week.
I like Lehigh.
I like that. Like that a lot. Let's wrap this up. Any hopes, dreams for the 2025 season? Big picture items? Or have we covered it all here in week 0?
I would just like to expand just a little bit.
Please.
Go ahead.
Just a little bit on
See that hour ticker. We're at an hour.
a blue blood, or at least I think a mid-major team this year is going to make it to the Final Four. Hayden already mentioned Army winning it, but I think Big East, Patriot League, A10, or CAA is going to have somebody in the Final Four. I think favorites preseason right now before a game has been played, Georgetown, Denver, Army, and Towson would be my 4. But I think the winner of the A10 can do it. The winner of the CAA, the winner of any of the 4 of those conferences can go to the Final Four. That's my big hypothesis, if you will, for this year.
Yep. Sounds like a hope and a dream. A hope or a dream.
It is. But I think just looking on paper, how much has graduated from the Blue Bloods this year, it's very doable.
Fair.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I like all those picks. I throw Albany in there. I don't know if you said that, but
I didn't. America East is shit.
Yeah, but
Silas Richmond.
Yeah, Silas Richmond is a very good player. He'll probably be a PLL guy and an NLL guy if I had to guess. He was pretty electric last year and scored 1 million goals, so he's gonna be the real deal for Albany, and I could see them making a little push.
They lost their best player by a mile, though.
Pacino.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you never know.
He won the Schmeiser, by the way, last year.
How about Coach Bates? We haven't talked about it. Coach Bates picked Woodward over Pacino. A lot of controversy. Bates wins it again. Back-to-back PLL champs, which is a huge deal. And Hayward wins the fan vote of the PLL Play of the Year. The diving trail check into a ground ball into a 19-yard 2-bomb. So, great job, Coach Bates.
It's the right pick.
It's the right pick. Right pick. Well, that does it for week 0 of College Lacrosse Gameday. We are excited to be back. Stay tuned because there's a lot that's going to come, and we need you guys this year to help us out. So we're going to have some type of forum where you guys can come in, call in, leave a voice recording, and we'll talk about it. We want to do that in the next episode, just run through takes and calls and then talk about them here on the show. We want to keep it somewhat PG. You can curse, as you can probably tell by my sailor language on this episode. So that's fine, but no women or children. But yeah, excited for another year. We're going to ask for your help to make this something. Stay on the lookout for merchandise, your help in some of these episodes, as well as a sponsorship. We need your help in a sponsorship, and it better be the right company who fits our brand. But thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the return of the Creators Game. Cheers.
Holden getting underneath. Maltz. Great catch by Bernhardt. Score!